The year is 1980, and Newport County are heading into the second leg of the Welsh Cup final. Newport have already won promotion to the English 3rd Division for the first time since 1935, thanks to a last day 4-2 victory. They go into the second leg of the final already ahead 2-1 on aggregate. All they need is a draw and they have qualified for Europe. The Newport midfielder collects the ball on the halfway line and pumps it long to John Aldridge. Aldridge manages to cut it back and Tyman's there again. Newport go on to win 3-0, with Lowndes and Gwaitha also scoring. Newport have done it. They've won their first Welsh Cup and they're heading to Europe. Newport's recent seasons hadn't gone this well. Just 4 years earlier, they'd nearly gone bankrupt and were having a dire season. They were in 22nd position with 10 games to go and 7 points off getting out of the relegation zone. They continued getting their average points per game, but with 5 games to go, it looked like it would take a miracle for Newport to stay in the Football League. Their final 5 games were against Watford, Crewe, Southend and then Workington twice. They managed to win 4 of their last 5 games, going into the final match of the season. Their last game was against Workington, who were bottom of the league and had conceded over 100 goals in their games so far. Even though they could not have asked for a better final match, they still had to win to get out of the relegation zone. They won 1-0, making it their 5th consecutive victory, and they managed to get out of the relegation zone on the last day. After they narrowly avoided the disaster of relegation, each season after they managed to improve, eventually leading us up to the season we've been talking about, 1980. The final game of the season, they won 4-2 and managed to get promotion by a single point. When put alongside their Welsh Cup victory, this is the finest season Newport County has ever had. They had managed to get into both the 3rd Division and the European Cup Winners' Cup. The Cup Winners' Cup draw was kind to Newport. They were drawn against Northern Irish side Crusaders, who were a part-time team with a manager who was also a high school teacher and players that worked as plasterers, factory workers, shipyard workers and civil servants. Only 3 years before this, however, Crusaders had fought against one of the strongest teams in Europe, Liverpool, and managed to only lose 2-0 to some late goals. This wasn't a tie that Newport could take for granted. However, in front of over 6,000 fans in Somerton Park, Newport managed to win 4-0, 2 goals from Dave Gwaitha and 2 from John Aldridge. Newport had managed to qualify for the second round. They were drawn against Norwegian side Hauge. Hauge had managed to win the Norwegian FA Cup in the 2nd Division, but had just been promoted to the 1st Division. On the day of the first leg in Norway, torrential rain had almost forced the match to be moved 10 miles away to Kopervik, but after 10 truckloads of sawdust had been dumped on the pitch, the match managed to go ahead. Unsurprisingly, this didn't make a great service for football. While Newport had dominated play, the result was a 0-0. Newport manager Len Ashurst was very confident that his side would manage to get through, stating nothing that Hauge showed should frighten Newport in the next leg. Ashurst was right. Newport managed a 6-0 win, a result that flattered the Norwegian team, and Newport were through to the quarter-finals, with half the Newport fans hoping for an easy tie to get to the semi-final, and the other half hoping for a glamour tie at one of Europe's powerhouses. Newport managed to avoid the likes of Benfica, Feyenoord and Dinamo Tbilisi, and instead got the East German champions Carl Zeiss Jena. Already in the competition, Carl Zeiss Jena had knocked out Roma and holders Valencia, and were flying high in the East German 1st Division. Their manager Hans Meyer was very confident before the first leg, saying he expected Newport to put themselves about, but they expected the skill of Carl Zeiss Jena to shine through. Newport showed up in East Germany, missing John Aldridge, their star striker, and Alan Waddle, their record signing. They knew they were the underdogs and went in hoping to contain Carl Zeiss Jena for the home tie. Newport had a very strong start in this game, but the East Germans managed to weather the storm, and after 22 minutes, Jurgen Raab scored after a scramble. This was the first goal that the Welsh side had conceded the whole tournament, and undeterred and desperate to get an away goal, Tommy Tynan scored 6 minutes before the break with a good finish that beat goalkeeper Hans-Ulrich Grabentin at his near post. Both Raab and Tynan would score again in the second half. The match would finish a 2-2 draw, but Newport would crucially have 2 away goals. This wiped away a lot of the positivity that the Carl Zeiss Jena fans had, with them expecting to go out in the home leg in Newport. Ashurst was delighted with the performance, and was hoping that he could get through to the semi-final. He wasn't the only one. Cup fever had swept Newport, and 18,000 people had shown up to watch their next league match. Fans and players both agreed that the impossible was now possible, and they could get through even further into the competition. Match day arrived, and Genoa were with a weakened squad. They were missing 6 of the team who'd knocked out Valencia in the previous round. Their manager admitted that it was a very difficult tie, and it was only normal for Newport to go through to the semi-final, although he would try everything in his power. His mood wasn't improved when the Newport County Hotel had the West German flag instead of the East German flag above it. Newport absolutely dominated the match. They hit the crossbar once and had 5 different shots cleared off the line. The manager said it was unbelievable. He thought at least 2 of his efforts should have gone in. After 44 minutes, and with no shots on target, Lothar Quirboet stepped up for a free kick. His free kick was struck well, but there was a hole in the defensive wall, and it went into the Newport net. Hope wasn't lost for Newport yet. They had 2 away goals from the first leg, so they just needed to get 1 to go through. Newport kept bringing the ball forward in the second half. Tynan struck the bar. Lowndes' shot was deflected over the bar. Grapathin kept out Guaita's close-range header, and Moore had an effort cleared off the line. The ball just would not go in the net. In stoppage time, Newport had one last chance.
Now in the time added on for injuries.
The ball was crossed in, and Grapathin managed to keep out Moore's header with a stunning save. But that was it. The final whistle was blown and Newport's European journey was at an end. The media had picked up on this story, and the front page of the next day's Daily Mirror simply said heartbreak. Newport had come so close to glory, but it was all over in one of the most unlucky performances you'll ever see. The glory around Newport didn't last long. They narrowly missed out on promotion to the second division in 1983, but things started to unravel. Tynan and Aldridge departed within a few years, debts started to pile up, and then they had back-to-back relegation 1986 to 88. The club had gone from the European football to Division 5 in just 8 years. After piling up £330,000 of debt, they were unable to play their players, and on February the 27th, 1989, the club ceased to exist. And that's the story of Newport County, a team that managed to get into Europe while still in the 3rd division of English football. Their story could have been even greater if they just had a little bit more luck, but unfortunately for them, they went out in a blaze of glory. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you've got any recommendations for stories like this that you'd like me to see, please leave it in the comments. If you want to give me a like, that's appreciated too, but for now, cheers, bye!